So the first one is from Moosh. He says, "Hey, Bradley, I enjoyed your mastermind in the past with the courses it included. I also implemented the SOPs. I am good with cold email outreach too, but now I feel I am stagnating. When are you bringing out any new courses again, and what are the next steps?" Well, we don't really launch courses. I mean, we just talked about launching Brand Expander, but that's because that's kind of an ongoing thing. But our courses are the mastermind. That's what the mastermind is. It's continuous updates of what's working currently, what I'm doing in my agency to grow my businesses, etc. And that is the mastermind. So I mean that's what it is. We don't usually launch individual courses. Occasionally we'll launch something, but really, but we don't provide support for those courses because the support is the mastermind. In other words, like we're probably going to be launching another product, which is just it's part of the directory agency process, directory hybrid agency program, which is the local lead generation sites, the template that I've spent 2 years working on, trying to build the perfect structure for service area businesses. And I've got right now what is the control, right? The direct response marketing is you always find the best performing, and the best performer that becomes the control. And then you constantly try to beat that by changing single variables and test against that and see if you can beat the control. And I've spent 2 years developing what is the current control, which is the local lead generation. So I call it an LLG site for local lead generation site. And I've got that in WordPress format and high level format for high level websites. And we've got full SOPs on how to build that, how to do what I call the geo-relevance data collection, all that kind of stuff. And so anyways, we're probably going to be launching that as a standalone course, which is just two SOPs. That's what it is. It's two full SOPs, one for WordPress and one for high level. And I think we're going to launch that sometime in the next month or so as just kind of a standalone product. But if you want additional support, if you have questions about that the SOPs, which is the training is an SOP format, then you have to join the mastermind because what we found is over the years, it's too hard to maintain courses. It's not hard to maintain SOPs as part of a mastermind, right? In other words, because everything's constantly changing. And so we don't do one-off. If we're going to do a one-off sale, it's going to be disclaimed right up front. This is not going to be supported. If you have questions, you can either go to Hump Day Hangouts and get conceptual answers to your questions, or if you want very detailed answer to your questions, come join a mastermind. That's what the mastermind is for. It's for support, for ongoing support, ongoing training, what's current and what is working now, what I'm doing in my own agency to grow my businesses, all of that. So that is what the mastermind is for, guys. We have a ton of SOPs in there. Again, we don't launch courses, or very rarely, because all the training is in SOP format, which is in the mastermind. And that's what I've been working on, the directory hybrid agency SOPs, which is a whole series of SOPs because it's a whole business model in a box, like it's a business in a box. So there is a bunch of standard operating procedures that I've been developing over 3 years now. No kidding. And right now, because we're in DHA phase 1 with what I call the beta plus group, I've redeveloped or kind of optimized, so to speak, the SOPs considerably over we're in week 8 now, with that week 8 out of 12 with the first group, the phase 1 group. And thanks to the members of that group, we've significantly improved the SOPs for that part of the training as part of the phase 1, the DHA phase 1 training, which is building the prospecting and sales machine, what I call the marketing and prospecting machine, whatever. That includes building LLG sites, local lead generation sites, because a lot of members of our audience or our group don't have any confidence in their abilities, which is why they have a hard time making sales. Because if you're not confident in what you're pitching, then it's hard to make a sale because your lack of confidence comes through in your tonality. You can literally smell like a prospect can smell lack of confidence through a Zoom meeting or through a phone, and so part of the LLG site stuff that I'm talking about is in part to help people to build the confidence when pitching their services to prospects in an area, because then they could point to lead generation assets that are already ranking for that particular business owners or industries products and or services in their own local area. And that will help to elevate their confidence to where when you're pitching your services, you can point to results already. Like, look, I've already done it in your area. I can do this for you. Do you want to work together? Right. And that just changes the whole dynamic of the sales presentation. Instead of, well, I promise Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner that if you pay me $1,500 a month for the next 6 months, at some point during that time, I'm going to start generating leads for your business. Like, that's a hard sale, which is why I understand. And by the way, a lot of people really have no way of knowing whether they're actually going to be able to achieve those results in 6 months. They're just taking a wild ass guess and assuming that at some point they're going to be able to get results for them, because a lot of people don't have repeatable processes that they know produce results. Because they throw a bunch of different things at the wall for different projects, and some perform well and some don't, but they have no idea what they did on this campaign because it's a mix of things and then they changed a mix of things for the next project. And people complain, oh, I don't have any consistent results. Well, what are you doing consistently? Like, or are you changing things up all over? And so I develop SOPs based upon my own experience, my own testing, are things that I know that are duplicatable and scalable that produce results. And so again, the LOG type stuff that I'm talking about is a way to start generating lead generation assets that you can point to in your pitching process, your sales process, which will help you to land clients. And so that's probably the next course. Again, I don't like to say course because it's really SOPs that we're going to be selling separately. But the support will be the mastermind. There's only two options for support, and that is Hump Day Hangouts, which is free, but that means there's certain things, we can only cover conceptually, not get down into the nitty gritty details, so to speak. But the mastermind is where I'm an open book. There's nothing that I hold back in the mastermind. And by the way, every mastermind member gets access to the full DHA program and all the SOPs. They just don't get the additional coaching unless you join the additional coaching program. So just to be clear for those people, because I know some people say, well, I want to join the DHA, but I don't want to, I don't have the resources to join the coaching program right now. That's fine. If you want to still build that same process into your agency, I have you guys have, the mastermind members have full access to the SOPs as it is. But the whole reason we have an additional coaching program for that is because a lot of people need specific support and need hand-holding in order to, and be held, and they also need to be held accountable, because a lot of people will, and I'm the same way, guys, by the way. That's why I like to announce things to our audience whenever if I feel like I'm going to procrastinate on something, then I like to announce publicly that I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to do something, whatever it is, because then it's easy to disappoint yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to not keep a commitment to yourself, but it's much harder to not keep a commitment to others. And so I like to publicly announce stuff when I know that I'm likely going to procrastinate on it or drag my feet, because then I'm now accountable to others. And so the same thing goes with the additional coaching group. We have accountability meetings, group accountability meetings every Monday. And then daily, we have office hours, which is an hour from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. every day that I'm available in a Zoom meeting for those program members, that in case they need individual specific support, they can jump on at any time during that hour, Monday through Friday. So it's 1 hour a day per 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday, that I'm available for Zoom meetings. And I'm on a Zoom meeting live for an hour. And if anybody wants to attend and ask specific questions or get like over the shoulder help, I'll tell them, share your screen, and I will walk them through how to execute whatever it is that they're struggling with or whatever. And so it's just, that is the difference, right? We've got some courses, but very few, and it's rare that we launch courses because of all the reasons I just mentioned. The mastermind really is our course because it's current, it's updated. You can come and go as often as you want. Come join, join for 3 months or a month. If you join for the quarterly offer, you buy 2 months, you get the third free. That's 3 months for the price of 2, essentially. So you can come join for a quarter and then cancel out and then come back 6 months later if you want. I don't care. It's up to you. You can come and join as often as you want. But as far as, are we going to launch new courses other than extracting bits and pieces out of larger kind of training or SOP, methods and models and things like that we might release, which is kind of more or less just to try to bring more people into the mastermind, right? Because the SOPs are very thorough. You don't need, but they're very thorough into the point where if you just follow the SOP, you should be able to absolutely execute everything that the SOP is intended for. But some people are going to need they're going to have additional questions, they're going to need additional support, and that's what the mastermind is for. So hopefully that's clear. What are the next steps? Yeah, the next steps are, well, I mean, again, it would be like, well, where are you stuck? Because you say you're stagnating, but I don't have an answer. Like, I don't have enough context to know, like, what are the next steps from where though? Like that's the whole point is, I don't know how to help you progress if I don't know where you're currently at. Like, what is the next step? I don't know. Because I don't know what your last step was. So, hopefully that's clear. But what I'm saying is, if you join the mastermind, if you've been there before and then you canceled for whatever reason, and now you feel like you've stagnated, excuse me, come back and we'll pick back up from where you left off and see how we can help you to move your business forward. Okay. Remember, when you rejoin, you get another 30-minute call with me, one-on-one, private one-on-one consultation session. Every time somebody joins the mastermind, even if you've been part of it before, you come back. You come back. To quote Jim Cramer, sell, sell, sell. Yeah, and it was the executive from Purdue Pharma that was if you guys watch that, I don't think it was Pain Hustlers, I think it was the other one. There was two Netflix movies that came out fairly close to each other that were about the like the opioid epidemic in the United States and everything else. And it wasn't the Pain Hustlers, which is the one with Emily Blunt and Chris Evans. It was the other one that came out before that had Ferris Bueller. What's his name? The actor from Ferris Bueller. Anyways, he was the executive or the owner from Purdue Pharma, but at they hired a bunch of, when they were pushing opioids out into to doctors across the country, they hired a bunch of really attractive young women to go push doctors to start prescribing oxycodone or Contin, or what, OxyContin, I guess it was, instead of other pain medicines. And the sales manager or whatever of that sales team for Purdue Pharma, like they were the ones that famously said, "Sell, baby, sell." And I love that. When I saw that movie, that hit me like a 2x4 across the head. And I mean, I internalized that. Sell, baby, sell. And I'll never forget that, because now that's what I've repeated that many, many times, but sell, baby, sell. So totally agree. Will says next step, sell, sell, sell. Yeah, I totally agree with that too. So if you've got cold email down, that means you should be generating leads for your agency. So the next step is just sell more, right?